Chapter 120 Scheming to Seize a Gang. He did not mention the time, but from the way he spoke, it appears that it's going to be not too long from now. As for the meeting place, it seems like it was not mentioned. Sun Ergo said as he scratched his head, somewhat embarrassed. Han Li frowned. Apparently, the information that Sun Ergo possessed was not 100% accurate. There were definitely some aspects that were overlooked. Han Li bowed his head and pondered for a while. Suddenly, he had an epiphany and thought of a brilliant idea. He cautiously gave Sun Ergo a once-over, then abruptly smiled and said, "Sun Ergo, I'm very pleased with the way you handle affairs recently, especially the major contribution you've made with the latest information. As a result, I am prepared to reward you heavily." When Sun Ergo heard this, he was so elated that his face brightened up subconsciously. Sun Ergo never would have thought that a few pieces of information would merit the appreciation of this esteemed young master and lead to a reward. It seemed that handling affairs for this person was truly refreshing. Although he didn't know why Han Li would reward him so handsomely, Han Li wouldn't give him a large amount of gold and silver treasure, would he? Sun Ergo couldn't help but let his imagination run wild. "Do you have any interest in becoming the commander of the 4th level gang?" Han Li's question was so earth-shattering that Sun Ergo's surprised face changed so drastically, and he nearly jumped out of his skin. Young master must be joking and teasing this servant. This servant has little ability and character, how could I qualify to be a commander? Sun Ergo muttered sullenly. "Why not? With me supporting you from behind, even a small group like 4th level gang would be easy to obtain. Or are you willing to just be a minor gang leader and take care of the harbor for the rest of your life?" Han Li said cajolingly as he laughed softly. When Sun Ergo heard this, many expressions crossed his face. There was surprise, fear and mostly excitement. As a man, who would not imagine himself being surrounded by beauties one day? Having all the authority in his hands and being able to control someone's life or death, what a marvelous idea. Buried at the bottom of his heart, Sun Ergo's innermost ambition was lightly ignited by Han Li's few words. But Sun Ergo still had a few qualms and thus did not immediately agree with Han Li. "The martial arts of our commander and the 3 great protectors is certainly not weak. Can young master be certain that he can subdue them?" Sun Ergo asked tentatively in a low voice. "Subdue them? Haha, what's the use of that? Just kill them all," Han Li said coldly as he regarded them with little importance. Sun Ergo couldn't help but to shudder when he heard this. This young master's killing intent was truly too great. If he did not agree, Sun Ergo was afraid that he might be dealt with immediately. Since young master speaks highly of this servant's life is bound to young master. I will listen to and obey your every command. Under Han Li's coercion and persuasion, Sun Ergo was finally willing to take some risks. Good, this is how it should be. Han Li nodded his head in satisfaction. "Give me your commander's most recent movements," Han Li asked willfully. "There is one that is noteworthy. Recently, he has been going to the eastern city's most popular brothel, the Clear River Brothel, every afternoon. He has been entranced by the leading girl, Xiao Jinji. However, the 3 great protectors would also accompany him, so I'm afraid it might be a bit hard to deal with. Why not wait for a few more days and find a better opportunity?" Since Sun Ergo had already agreed with Han Li, he would immediately do everything he could for sake of his life and glory. "No need. Since we already know the time and place, taking their small lives will be very easy," Han Li mentioned causally. "But once they die, you're afraid you won't have the capability to take over 4th level gang, correct?" "Yes. Within the gang, this servant is only a minor leader. There are many other who have higher ranks and better qualifications than me," Sun Ergo said shamefully. "Don't worry, if I said I'd make you the commander of the 4th level gang, you'll definitely be the commander. I will temporarily dispatch Crooked Soul to watch over you. He can get rid of all those that rebel against you and be your personal guard for the time being." Han Li declared confidently. Afterwards, Han Li rushed to the room next door and knocked calmly 3 times. A short moment later, Crooked Soul appeared in front of them. Keep this close to you and conceal it well. As long as you have this object on you, Crooked Soul will obey all your orders. He will get rid of your enemies and help you ascend to the position of commander. Han Li took out the soul-luring watch from his bosom. He caressed it softly for a while, then handed it over to Sun Ergo. Although the person holding soul-luring watch was not the master of Crooked Soul, he could still command Crooked Soul. This was another method of control on Crooked Soul that Dr. Mo taught Han Li. Furthermore, if the former owner dripped his blood essence onto the soul-luring watch, other people would not be able to tamper with it. Hence, Han Li was not afraid that Sun Ergo might have evil plans or other intentions. Sun Ergo had personally seen Crooked Soul's display of his mighty power, so he was especially surprised to receive the watch, increasing his courage drastically. Many thanks to young master's great kindness. This servant will definitely repay this favor with my life. But Sun Ergo was very clever. He knew that despite being the commander of the 4th level gang, he was actually just this young master's puppet. Thus, whenever there was an opportunity, he would fervently express his loyalty. Head back and prepare first then. Once that commander is dead, you should take advantage of the confusion and assume control of 4th level gang. But you must remember this, send me the fellow who saw the immortal couple. I want him unharmed as I have things to ask him. Did you get that? Han Li's last sentences were very strict, clearly attaching great importance to this task. Please be at ease, young master. This servant will definitely send him to you in one piece. I will absolutely not disappoint, young master. Sun Ergo immediately patted his chest and vowed with devotion written on his face. As long as you understand, then that's good. Bring Crooked Soul along with you then. The next time you see me, you will already be the commander. Han Li told him without batting an eye. This servant will retire now. Sun Ergo noted Han Li's notice to leave and tactfully retreated out of the house with great speed. Crooked Soul followed closely behind. The moment Sun Ergo left the house, Han Li stood up. Within the house, Han Li turned in a semicircle and suddenly let out a prolonged mellow whistle. Then, from the outside, the cloud-winged bird dived in and landed on Han Li's shoulder. Han Li extracted a bottle from his bosom and poured out the cloud-winged bird's favorite yellow chestnut pill, which he gently fed to the bird. Then he softly said, "Little fellow, catch up with the person who just left the house. If he leaves the city walls to escape, immediately return and tell me." When the cloud-winged bird finished listening to Han Li's words, it chirped intelligently and proceeded to fly out of the window, disappearing into the sky.